Okay, are we here? Is that happening? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about, we're going to look at the fees associated with selling merchant on Amazon. And just to break down again what that means, it means you can sell FBA, which is where I send product into a warehouse. The fees that are associated with FBA look a bit different sometimes, a lot of times, than the fees when I fulfill the order straight to the customer myself. And not saying sometimes merchant fulfilling orders can be much cheaper because I'm not paying Amazon to fulfill the orders, but I am paying shipping on each order. So it's sometimes not that one is better or worse. There's a lot more that plays into should I FBA an order or should I merchant fulfill an order. So do I need to start over again? Because that just seems so confusing. Today, I'm talking specifically about the fees when I fulfill an order straight to the customer. Now, there is a lot that plays into this, and it's difficult when somebody asks me this. This is a big question. How much are you making? And as much as I just want to give you this bottom dollar price, that's difficult because a lot of the profits I'm making on Amazon and Walmart, I'm funneling straight back into scaling my business. So it's not like every week I'm cutting myself a paycheck. Now we have to pull some of that money from time to time. So yeah, a lot goes into this. And when you take an even bigger step back, what are the fees on Amazon when you sell an order? And how much am I netting? Today I'm going to use Inventory Lab to show you what the fees on most of my orders look like, but a lot goes into selling a product on Amazon. Not only are you looking at your cost, your gas, your products, your boxes, your poly bags, your time, and shipping costs, Amazon is also charging you a fee to sell on their platform, and it can really range from like 8% to upwards of 20%. And like, let's look at grocery, for instance. Depending on the price you sell it at will also affect the fees you pay. For instance, in grocery, if you sell an item that is over $15, you're gonna pay 15% in fees. But if it's under $15, you're gonna pay 8% in fees. And a lot of the categories reflect that sort of fee scale. And Walmart's, the fees also look very similar. Now, Walmart doesn't have the monthly fee like Amazon does. You don't pay $40 a month on Walmart to sell. But the fee structure on both, when you do make a sale, looks similar. So it's not just listing an item and then in 2 weeks you get all of that money back. There's a lot of these little details that play into running and sustaining a profitable business. I think that's really important to talk about because when you are using a repricer, sometimes you do not take into account as soon as you clip $15, you're now paying double in Amazon fees. So really, when I say learning what goes into Amazon, this is kind of the stuff I'm talking about. And I think this is a really kind of mind shift if you're coming from reselling, because reselling is a little bit more straightforward. But I do think the bigger thing about reselling, like on eBay, for instance, or Marketplace, is my margins are astronomical. And that's awesome. So what? I'm paying 15% fee, and on Facebook Marketplace, I'm not paying any fees typically. But something like eBay, my markup on most of my eBay stuff is huge. So even that little fee that I'm paying doesn't matter too much. But on a platform like Amazon, where you're trying to grow, you're trying to scale, your margins are slim, and sometimes you're competing at the buy box, it is so important that you know what your bottom dollar is, where you're like, I cannot go under this amount. Otherwise, I'm no longer profitable. And I should say that happens. I should include that not being profitable on ASINs. Sometimes you send product in and it's great at the beginning, and then your last however many units end up not making you any money. That happens. And I want to include that asterisk in there that it's unrealistic to think that every product you send in, every product you sell, you're going to be profitable on. But for the sake of this merchant conversation, what does that look like? Sometimes it looks like I sell a product, and depending on where it's going in the country, it may cost 3 times the amount to ship. Sometimes shipping is where you really eat those costs that suck. You know, you can like ship 20 items and they're all maybe like $6 to $8, but then you get that random person who comes in, I don't know, where, Wyoming someplace. I don't know why anyone can't get there for an affordable price. but you end up paying major shipping fees to get there. It's kind of the part of doing business. You cannot cancel the sale. You got to send it out. You got to buy the shipping within Amazon. When you buy shipping within Amazon, you have added protection than if you use a third-party service. So there's a lot that goes into this, and I thought today, for the sake of this conversation, I would include another tool that I use. Did you guys watch the Usher halftime show? What did you think of it? Let me know. I really liked it. And I like that Kanye and Kim's daughter, Northwest, played the guitar in that part. Tell me that they don't look just like her. I hope that's like in her future, because that would be awesome, right? What else? I thought it was great. Very nostalgic. I am going to use the software tool Inventory Lab to break down fees. For somebody like me, I can ballpark shipping because I've been doing this so long. And if you're coming over from eBay, you probably understand. I bet you if I'm like, ship this, you're like $4.30. You know exactly. And you kind of get to that point. But as far as the fees, that's sometimes where I draw a big question mark, and I rely on tools to shoot me out the fees so then I can start looking at my net numbers. I try to look at a product and divide my profit into categories of threes. So if I'm making $30, $10 is going to like fees and costs, $10 is going into my initial investment, and I'm making $10. That can sometimes be really skewed depending on what your actual return is. But when I'm in general sourcing for products, that's how I tend to look at my net profit. Inventory Lab is really great. It comes with an app called Scoutify, and I can scan an item in a store and it'll give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and it also show me the breakdown of fees, which sometimes are more important with FBA. For instance, like something like drinks, like Red Bull, there's a lot of profit there. It looks like there's a lot of profit there, but when you look at the fees, because it's an oversized item, you have to sell that for an astronomical price to even break even. And so I do get this, like, how much are you marking it up for? And I just think that really comes from the average person who's buying online does not understand the fees to sell on that platform. The fees that we pay to Amazon, or just shipping costs in general, because most people are paying free shipping everywhere. They don't know, like, how much does it cost to send a box of anything anywhere. I try to keep that in mind when I am talking to people, that there's just a lot of like ignorance there. And it's not necessarily that they're trying to be mean, they just don't understand how a platform works. Some people want it all, I don't want nothing at all. Okay, let's dive into this listing, kind of a random one. There is a lot of reasons why I wouldn't sell this, and I'm not telling you to sell this. Also, I don't know why my camera's not on, but there you go. So here we go. I grabbed this product. Here's the ASIN, and this is what Scoutify looks like. And I also have Scoutify on my phone. It's an app as well. But I like this because it breaks down the fees really well for me. And you can see over on this side, it's toggled right now to FBA. So you'll see really quick, if you put in your buying cost, if you were to buy this product for $3, and it'll tell you up here your target cost per unit, basically saying you need to purchase this at this price to hit 100% return, which is my setting for this for Inventory Lab. So I put $3 in, I'm making $2.94 profit on each sale. It's 98% return. And over here, you will see more of the fees associated with FBA. But for the sake of this call, one more thing, you can look at storage fees over time, which is important. But we're going to toggle it over to merchant. And this is the thing with cookies, especially like the Oreo cookies. People love to sell that stuff. It is more expensive than you think to ship those because they have to go in a box. And yeah, USPS Ground Advantage has kind of changed the game in shipping, makes it really nice because it is more affordable to ship those products over a pound. But you really should take that into consideration, that this is probably going to be more like $8 to ship. And also, when you are shipping and maybe you're testing out something, merchant, you will not pay the same shipping unless you're paying for a flat rate label. Flat rate shipping through USPS is a standard fee per, like if you're doing the padded mailer or a flat rate box. But typically this would go USPS ground advantage or maybe UPS ground. And depending on your zone and then where you're shipping to that zone, that is how they create those fees. Obviously, the pound and the weight and the box size plays into that as well. So you will not just pay one fee for each order. It's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you'll make a little bit more, sometimes you'll make a little bit less. And an average item I sell on Amazon merchant, I am covering my cost, obvious, the cost to buy the product, and I'm covering shipping cost. The only reason why I wouldn't be paying for the shipping is the buyer has selected an expedited shipping label. So they want it to get there faster. That is when if you've ever purchased something for expedited shipping on Amazon, you will be given that option and know that you're paying up to get it sooner. Otherwise, this is a ground shipping label. And let's look at the fees here. I am under $15 for my list price. So that means in the grocery category, I'm only going to be paying 8% fees. The Amazon referral fee is under $1. That's great. My shipping cost is really what's out of control. This just shows you the Amazon fee, which that's great. Amazon fee, $1, your cost, and then the cost to ship it. Now, if you could get this more to $6, okay, this might be a good option. And here's the thing, when people say, oh my God, you're only making $2 an item. My goal is to scale. So if I could send in 500 units, that would make a little bit more sense. Do I just want to ship one of these on a Monday afternoon? No, I do not. But there you can see the breakdown, my return there. And when people say, what return are you looking for? 100% is obviously ideal. And that's what that would look like on this item. That kind of shows you a little bit of the breakdown behind the scenes. I do think the Amazon fee and the fees across like eBay, Walmart are all pretty standard, but the question mark sometimes is that shipping cost. If you are paying shipping and if you haven't shipped out a lot of stuff before, that can be kind of a headache. It does take time. And the first thing when you open your Amazon seller account, the first thing you want to do is go into your shipping template and update those expedited shipping prices. What do I mean? So if you are a brand new seller and somebody ends up buying these cookies and they want it in 2 days, that shipping label is going to be like $35 to purchase through UPS ground. And Amazon is charging you, and hopefully you have charged the buyer $35. Now, if you never update your shipping template and somebody pays for that 2-day label, they're going to cover like $18 of that. Can you cancel the sale? No, you cannot. That is the cost to learning the business. And when you really do look at it that way, that's not terrible. Most people are investing something somewhere to learn, go to school. There is a cost to learn some of this, and some of it is doing it the wrong way and then having to pay to fix your mistake. I think that's why community can be so helpful, because we're all sharing. The minute I make a mistake, you better believe I'm running to my platform like, guys, do not do this. I hope I didn't scare you off. I hope you were able to see the potential here. Different products will have, obviously, if you're getting something in demand, if there's a shortage, if you find something specialty, discontinued, your return can be astronomical, and the demand on Amazon is unmatched anywhere else. I get this vibe on Instagram that people are like, oh my God, you're sharing and now you're going to dilute. Look, yeah, like if I'm sharing one product, one ASIN, and 500 sellers jump on it, that's dumb. I should never have shared it. I'm ruining my cash and other people's money. There's so much potential in the e-commerce space. There's so much potential. And I think when you are looking at Amazon, like you have to control and protect and look, you got to get your piece of the pie, you tend to forget that the potential is really limitless. There's hundreds of thousands of potentials and profits and niches and products that I don't think me and myself can ruin it for everybody selling on Amazon. But I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. You're wondering, is there too many sellers on Amazon? No, the world is quickly all careening towards we buy products online. And yeah, I don't think that's going to change. I appreciate you watching this. I hope that it gave you another picture into what the fee structure looks like. Of course, I'm not going to show you my actual real products. I save everything I purchase and take pictures and share it in my community to my members, and that's why the community is also closed, because we don't want 100,000 sellers on one listing. We want to protect the leads, protect what we're selling, because that's how we make our money on Amazon. So if you're wondering why can't I go into the deeper details of the listings and share more, I'm going to do my best to share what I can here and also protect my livelihood and the livelihood of other members of my community. Would I advise you to get Inventory Lab also? I think it's up to you. Inventory Lab is a little bit on the pricey side, so if you are new, it probably wouldn't be my first jump. There are plenty of tools out there that can break down fees for you, but I use Inventory Lab for a lot of things, to send in FBA shipments and beyond, so it makes sense for me and my business. I'll post a link below if you're interested in signing up with Inventory Lab. I hope this helps. Have a fantastic day. Cheers. I will share the link to this down below, but I thought this is a great place to start when you are talking about fees, how much you're making. Each category has sometimes a little bit of a different fee. I tend to do a lot in groceries, so this is what I was talking about, the 8% for under $15 or 15% for over $15. And sometimes it really comes into being strategic in your price structure, because you can make more and you can be more competitive if you price at like $14.50 than if you are pricing in that $15 range. So it's kind of interesting. And I think this, when we talk about pricing an item, more goes into it than just matching a price. It's important to know these fees and the fee structure.